All right, welcome to Coffee with Markus. This is episode 89, and today I'll show you what's happening in the market so that you know what's going on. And then we will talk about the Snowflake IPO. Should you buy shares of Snowflake? Is it a good idea to buy IPOs in general? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. Before we get started, let me give you a super quick intro of why I'm doing the show, because here's what I'm seeing. Most people who start trading expect their accounts to explode, especially if you look at Snowflake today, right? And you see, they've seen the ads and emails that promise them to turn $500 into $100,000 or something crazy like this. And then they start trading and they quickly realize it doesn't work this way. So if you are sick of all the hype and empty promises, then this show is for you, because my goal is here to give you the strategies and the tools that you need to grow your account systematically, because that is the key. You see, everybody can get lucky every now and then, but being able to grow your account in a systematic, repeatable, and consistent way, these are the keys to trading success in the market. So in this show, I'll show you the tools that you need. I'll give you the trading strategies that actually work. And we will also talk about the right mindset of a trader, because that is super important. Also, in this show, it's all about the facts. No hype, just the facts, because I want you to succeed. And if all of this sounds good to you, then do me a favor and click on like right now, and we will get started. Okay, awesome. So good to see everybody. So first segment, what is happening in the markets right now? And markets have been doing great. Right now, they're selling off. And yes, we will talk about the Snowflake IPO in just a moment. Give me maybe a minute. So let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. So for most of the day, markets have been just trading sideways. Why? Because today was the big FOMC meeting that everybody was waiting for. And you see, as soon as the meeting started, everybody got excited because the Fed leaves interest rates at zero, and they said they will leave them low for years until inflation is around 2% or higher, and labor market conditions have reached levels, as they say, consistent with the committee's assessment. Well, you see, this we're right now going into the close. Markets are selling off a little bit. But overall, looking at the bigger picture here, yeah, we have a little bit of a sell-off. But as you can see, in the S&P, the 3,300 level holds. In the NASDAQ, the 50-day moving average holds. So we will see what is happening here going into the close. But you see, the real news today is the IPO on Snowflake. So let's talk about this. Should I invest in Snowflake? Snowflake is probably the most hyped IPO in years. You see, today, the cloud data company Snowflake, trading under the acronym SNOW, had their much anticipated IPO. We'll talk about what an IPO is, but you see, this IPO has been the talk of Wall Street for a few weeks right now, because it is the biggest deal of the year and the largest software IPO ever. See, Snow was supposed to start trading at $75 to $85 per share. But then last week, Salesforce and Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway opted to buy several million shares of Snow. So on Monday, just a couple of days ago, Snow raised their IPO from $75 to $85 to $100 to $110. But let's see what happened today. Let's take a look at Snow here on the charts when they finally started trading around noon. Let me show you a 5-minute chart. Look at this craziness. So again, the IPO price was originally 75 to 85, raised on Monday to 100 to 110, and this morning they started trading at 245 and shot up as high as 319 in a matter of minutes. And I'll explain to you exactly why that is. After this, it came crashing down, and right now, it's still trading at $262. But you see, when it was going up there, it was 4 times as much as the original IPO price. That's 400% in the first few minutes of trading. Isn't that crazy? So the key question right now is, does it make sense to invest in Snow? And does it make sense to invest in IPOs in general? Now, before we talk about this, let's talk about what is an IPO. IPO is an acronym that stands for Initial Public Offering. And this means when a stock is first publicly traded at an exchange. And you see, IPOs are often hyped up. Remember last year when Uber and Lyft had their IPO, and then Slack and Chewy and Pinterest? There was a lot of hype around these companies. But as you know, this show here is all about the facts. So let's take a look at the facts of what happened to these hyped up IPOs. The first IPO that I want to look at is Uber. So last year, everybody was crazy about Uber. Let me just get rid of these things. These were actually for trading the wheel on Uber. We did this. And let's just zoom out here for a little bit and see what happened to Uber shortly after the IPO. So here we go. This is the IPO. So the first day they started trading at $42, went all the way up to $45, crashed back down and hovered around $45 to $46 for a while. And you see then they released an earnings report and boom, it came crashing down from 46 to 26. So how come? Because everybody was super excited about Uber, and looking at the first day, oh my gosh, was this trading up? Let's take a look at a few other IPOs of last year that got hyped up. So shortly after Uber, Lyft was trading at the exchanges. And very similar here. Look at this. So Lyft at first started trading at $88. And on the first day, they moved all the way down to $78. And ever since, over the next few months, it has been a slide down until October 2019. Again, we're looking at last year because I want to kind of predict and tell you whether it is worth investing in Snow right now, the most hyped up IPO of the year. Okay, but let's take a look at a few others. So Chewy also hyped up last year, and you see they started trading at 35. On the first day, went as high as, what is this? 42, almost 42, but then also over the next few months came crashing down, you see, all the way up from 44 to 22. Let's take a look at a couple of more here. Last year also we had Slack, so everybody was saying, oh my gosh, Slack is replacing Skype and everybody wants to have Slack. So here's where they opened on the first day. On the first day, they opened at $38.50, went all the way up to $42, and then crashed down to $20. Do you see a trend here? Let me just show you one more. Pinterest. Pinterest last year was another one. I mean, these are the big ones. There are many, many more. And here's where we look at Pinterest. Now, Pinterest, as you can see, started trading here at 23, then went all the way up in a matter of a few days to 35, but then came crashing down again. So looking at all this, right? Should you invest in Snow? But let's take a look at what happened here with Snowflake today. So I want to go back to a 5-minute chart here. You see, here's what's happening. Again, this is the most hyped up IPO that we have seen in a long, long time. So why does it jump from 245 to 315 in a matter of minutes? This is where traders have FOMO, the fear of missing out. So as soon as they started trading, and they finally started trading at what time? I believe it was, there we go. Yeah, it was at around noon Eastern time, maybe a little bit later. And this is when everybody said, buy, 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 buy. And they did it. And then, of course, people who got smart and got it in the pre-IPO, which probably most of us, you and I, will never get it. I mean, the pre-IPO prices are really for the guys of Warren Buffett or Salesforce or some others here. So they get in high net worth individuals, but you see, usually retail traders do not. And then it came crashing down. What can we expect from this IPO? I mean, just looking back at the other IPOs that we have seen, let's talk about two key takeaways of what probably is going to happen here. Number one key takeaway from IPOs. IPOs are not guaranteed to make money unless you get into the pre-IPO, which, again, let's be realistic, most of us will never do. And so they're not guaranteed to make money even if they are hyped up. We just looked at Uber, Lyft, Slack, Pinterest, right? I mean, all of these. Number two, even if they do, so let's go back, even if they make you money like Pinterest here, right? So 1 out of the 5 examples that I've shown you actually went up. I'm on a 5-minute chart here, so let's switch this to a daily chart. One of the 5 actually initially went up, as you can see, before sharply reversing. So if you're making money on an IPO, you must time your exits. IPO profits are quick and fast, and you can't be greedy. So, in the last Coffee with Markus, we talked about SRC profits and why they are so important. So, SRC, as you know, stands for systematic, repeatable, and consistent. And when you know how to generate SRC profits, you can apply money management to grow an account from $10,000 to $40,000. If you want to know exactly how to do this, watch my previous video. I have a video on money management. I'll link to it in the description, and we'll also do it here in the chat box. However, as you have seen today, IPOs, initial public offerings, are not SRC profits. So, back to the original question. Should you invest in Snowflake? Let's go back here to Snowflake. Look at this and the craziness that is happening here today. Should you invest in Snowflake? Well, for me personally, I'll pass and I'll keep looking for opportunities according to the wheel and the PowerX strategy, since these are SRC profits that I can generate week after week and month after month. And not only me, I just want to show you an email that I got the other day. So here, this is from Michael Mikkel. Wanted to say thank you for the fantastic coffee cup. I am the biggest Java fan. So being able to use the PowerX optimizer system to make money and drinking from the Rockwell trading fire hose all day, it's a big treat. Good, good, good. Thank you to all already making money in PowerX optimizer, $970, and the wheel, $377. It's only been 2 weeks. That helped me made right $1,350 so far. Okay, again, keep in mind these results are not typical. Michael really committed to trading, but hey, it worked for him. So for me personally, I stay away from this Snowflake craziness here. I'll stick to the SRC profits that I can generate with the PowerX strategy and the wheel. And that's what I keep doing, and that's what I'll show you here on the channel. Was this helpful at all to understand a little bit what IPOs are, and that even though they're hyped up, are not guaranteed for profits here? Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and like it, because this way others will see the video. And if you would like to see more videos like this, then click on the subscribe button and also click the little notification bell. This way you get notified whenever I release a new video. And if somebody's talking to you about IPOs and you realize quickly that they don't know what they're talking about, please feel free to share this video, and I will see you in the next one. All right, good, good, good. Now, there are a lot of questions coming in, and I want to address all your questions. Thank you so much for being here today. What a crazy day in the markets. Okay. So Rob said it. Yes, happy hump day to all. I think this is what the markets are also thinking about, because let's see what they are going 15 minutes into the close. So NASDAQ still a little bit down, probably bouncing off the lows here, looking at a 5-minute chart. So after the slide here, bouncing off a little bit. S&P also have found a temporary bottom, it seems. So we seem to push a little bit back going into the close. But hey, let's see. We have another 15 minutes. Okay. Jim says 2,475 profit today, closing out the wheel with covered call strategies. Another $1,900 for target for Friday. Good job, Jim. Good job. Okay. So somebody says it's low volume. It seems to be. I'm seeing volume levels here. Seems to be okay for me. Okay. Clem says about the black background on the Tastyworks screen, I haven't figured out how to change it. So anyhow, Andrea's asking, Snowflake, winter is coming. We shall see if snow is melting, as Jim said here. So Juan, yeah, Berkshire Hathaway's bought 250 million worth of Snowflake at the IPO price. Remember, the IPO price was priced between $75 and $85, so probably somewhere at around $80. And yeah, I mean, Warren Buffett will probably hold it for a longer time, but if you got in there and you were able to cash out this morning at $300, which is 3.5 times as much. I mean, you would be a really, really happy camper, right? So yeah, shares of Snowflake surged 130%, even more. I mean, it's just crazy what is going on there. So Peter says, I used to invest in IPOs. I had a father-in-law that was doing the IPOs. He would let me in on the ones that were good. And he told me about the ones that were not good. You see, Peter, this is also, it was much easier back in the days. Now that IPOs are overhyped, you see, here's the deal. So whenever there's an IPO, there's a certain amount of shares that a company issues, right? A company might say, you know what, we are issuing 300 million shares or something like this. The company then also says, out of these 300 million shares, we will reserve, let's say, 100 million for friends and family or employees or something like this, right? Then they might say, okay, another 100 million shares go to institutional investors. Another 100 million go to business partners or something like this. So they actually leave a very small portion that can be picked up by retail investors. And most of the time, what happened is that retail investors can only get in the day of when it starts trading, as you can see here. And then, yeah, I mean, if you got in this morning at 250, you're still up $10. But I mean, this is nothing compared to all the others that got in early here. Anyhow, good. So Clem says the black background on Tastyworks is hard to read. Let me know how I can change it, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. I haven't figured it out. Not that smart. You see, I use Tastyworks for my trading, and all I need to do is click, and that's it. But I'll be happy to look into this. Okay. So Timothy, good comment here. IPO seems to end up being a collective legal pump and dump from this pattern. Often this is happening, right? I mean, think about it. What does Uber want to do when they are initially debuting? So when they're first trading, they want the stock to go up. So this is why everybody here is hyping it up. Lyft, what else are we? Slack, right? BYND. I mean, all of these companies, and Snow has been the most hyped up in quite a while. I mean, if you think about it, there haven't been many IPOs. There have been, but not IPOs that anybody cares about. Smaller IPOs, right? I mean, this was the big one, the largest deal of the year, and the biggest software company deal IPO ever. So it is just like crazy. And yeah, Juan says it here. IPO is only big whale and big investors over 10 million. For small investors, it will be okay to buy in 2 days. You see, let me show you actually something really interesting. So I found out it seems to be best, Juan and everybody else, if you really want to get into the IPOs, to buy it after they release the first or second earnings. Let's take a look at Uber here. So Uber, oops, I want to go to a daily chart. See, here's what happened. So their first earnings were released, and it's like, oh, well, it's going well. Second and third, and this is when everybody realized, not too good, right? Not too good. So always wait for the first earnings report, because this is, we'll take a look at Lyft here also. This is when a company needs to basically let their pants down and let everybody see what they're really doing. See, until you're a publicly traded company, you do not have to disclose your financials. I mean, it's voluntary if you want to do this. But once you are publicly traded, you have to adhere to accounting standards and do this. Take a look at Lyft here. So 1, 2, 3 earnings, and then there might be an opportunity. So Juan, after 2 days, not necessarily. Look at what happened if you got into Lyft after 2 days. Look at what happened when you got into Slack after 2 days. Right? Again, what happened here? 1, 2, 3 earnings. And then after the third earnings, you see, boom, it's going up. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? What else were we looking at? Pins. So let's take a look at Pinterest. Yeah, so here, well, let's count. 1, 2, 3 earnings, and then they finally turned up again. Anyhow. Just wanted to share this because I don't think that the 2-day rule is a good rule. Maybe the 2 to 3 earnings rule might be a better rule. Apple Snow, it's so nice to see you here. Okay. So Brian is asking, when is the best time to place an order for stocks and options? Pre-open or wait 30 minutes? It really depends on your strategy. Let me give you an example. This morning, I wanted to go short lumber liquidators. So lumber liquidators was a PowerX optimizer pick. So I used the software PowerX optimizer, ran the scanner, and saw that lumber liquidator was actually a good short. So this is where this morning with lumber liquidator, I placed an order right in the beginning. Oops, there's a lot going on here on my chart. Let's go to where we are right now. Okay, so here I placed an order in lumber liquidator to go short according to the PowerX strategy at 22.58. So I'm betting on lumber liquidator falling. And thus far, it has been working great. Right now, it is trading at 22.40, so I'm not making a whole lot. But here is, to answer your question, Brian, this is why I placed it right in the open. Now, of course, this is a stop order, and I've actually a video on this, a stop order versus limit order, so you might want to watch this. It really depends on your trading strategy. Often, also for the wheel trades, I like to do it in the first hour of trading. So for me, Brian, there is no hard rule of should you do it pre-open? Should you do it right at the open? Should you wait 30 days? It really depends on the strategy. For me personally, trading the PowerX strategy and the wheel, I like to trade in the first hour. So usually between 9:30 and 10:30 Eastern time. Does this help? Good, 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 good. All right. What do you think about Palantir? You know what, Jack? Jack Bauer. My kids actually gave me a present to help you. It's a cube. It's a dice that says buy, hold, sell. Do we want to do this? It says hold. No, I mean, I'm just kidding. So let's go back to this. So Palantir, I like to use at 3 indicators, as you know. So this is the PowerX strategy. And by the way, if you would like to know more about these indicators, get this book. It's $4.95. Can't go wrong with it if you order it through my website. If you order it on Amazon, it's probably $20, but I'll be happy to send you a free copy as soon as you promise to cover shipping and handling, which is $4.95. But let me give you a very quick overview here of what exactly I'm doing. So I'm looking at 3 indicators, which is the RSI, the stochastics, and the MACD. This is what you see here on the bottom of my charts. And I am bullish on a stock when the RSI is above 50, the stochastics is above 50, and the MACD is above its moving average. I am bearish on a stock if the indicators are below 50 or below its moving average. So again, in the book, I explain everything in detail. So let's take a look at Palantir. How do you spell this? Let me see. I don't know. Is this even a stock? Or is this a trick question? Is this a broker? I don't find it as a stock. I probably talked about a stock because I don't know Palantir. And you were probably thinking about a broker? No idea. Okay, anyhow. Well, real clarified. Now, Caroline is bringing up a good point. My brother tracks IPOs, and he knows what he's talking about. He is really good at it. The key is to diversify, and here's the deal. The key, Caroline, this is what I think. Ask your brother. The key is to stay away from this hyped up stocks, right? There are, I mean, if you look at, let me show you something. Let me show you something really. I want to show you the last 100 IPOs. So last 100 IPOs. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. And there we go. So here are the last 100 IPOs. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So it's Applied UV, it's Harbor Custom Development, it's Xpeng, it's Chimera Therapeutics, NanoX Imaging. See, this was all just in the past months. Harmony Biosensors, blah, blah, blah. Nobody knows this. Yeah, so to your point, is he doing well? If he's trading the smaller ones and stays away from these hyped up ones, then probably. And you see, this is why I'm doing this show here, because I want to show you the facts. And too many people are just blindly buying Tesla, buying Apple, buying snow, right? But this is not SRC profit, systematic, repeatable, and consistent. Anyhow, good. So Lamaya says, what are your thoughts on Rocket's IPO going long? I don't even know what Rocket is. You see, this is where it goes back to. There are so many IPOs, and if you go there, you will see that here's the offer price. You will see the first day close, and you see the current price. And you will see that many of those, so this is where it goes back to Caroline, many of those are doing great at the first day, but then often they start pulling back. But you see, overall, the return is not bad at all. But stay away from something like snow and all this hyped up stuff here. Perspective says IPO is crypto stock play. Yeah, WKHS was a good IPO. See, Chuck, maybe, but as you have seen on these examples here, it's like almost like spinning the wheel or playing roulette. Yeah, maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down, but this is not what I want for myself to grow my account as a professional trader, right? I mean, as a professional trader, what you want is systematic, repeatable, and consistent profits. Anyhow, so Jack says snow came out at 245. Warren Buffett, I think that he might have even bought it at 100 or below. Yeah, so anyhow. Good. So Peter says, when one gets into the initial IPO, does he have to hold it for like 6 months? No, unless you get into the pre-IPO. Usually in the pre-IPO, or if you're part of the company and you have been issued stock, this is when you have to hold it for a longer period. However, when you start trading it today, right, when the regular trading starts, as far as I know, there's no holding period here. Good question. Okay, Jack is asking, is this essential to have two screens? I prefer it. I love to have two screens because on one screen, let me just show you, on one screen, I like to have my PowerX software. On the other screen, I either have TradingView or I have my trading platform, right? So either one. This is where, for me, it makes a lot of sense to have two screens. Two screens these days are super cheap. I mean, you can pick up a second screen and connect it to anything. I mean, laptop, desktop, and the second screen costs you probably between $150 and $180. For me personally, well worth it. And yeah, Airbnb are both pretty hyped up. Absolutely. And Juan says, yeah, IPO is not made for small investors. You see, it really depends. Like Caroline's, what was it? Brother, right? Or Caroline's brother seems to do really well with the smaller ones. So anyhow. Good. Or you can just wait for MACD, stochastics, and RSI to be in favor. You know my take on hyped up stocks. I mean, anything that you see hyped up in the news, I like to stay away from it. So if everybody's talking about Apple, I'd like to stay away from it. If everybody is talking about Tesla, I like to stay away from this. Why? Because this is when you see irrational moves. Let's take a look at Tesla, right? I mean, Tesla, think about it. Up, coming up here. So we had the stock share split. It was announced here. Tesla went up 50%. Then crashed down 30%, right now going up. I mean, is this really making systematic, repeatable, and consistent profits? No. This is like gambling, right? And this is what I see too many traders doing. So yeah, they say that 90% of traders lose 90% of the money in the first 90 days. I'm not surprised. If there would be really something like a test, like a driver's license for traders, before you can actually place trades, I believe the failure rate would be much less. But especially these days, I mean, trust me, there will be people who have opened a brokerage account, probably with Robinhood, just to trade snow. And this is what's happening, right? When Tesla announced the stock split, there are people who have opened a brokerage account just to do it. And this is not the right way to do it. The right way is to have a strategy, have the right tools, have the right mindset. Anyhow, you know what I'm talking about. I've talked about it before, right? Jim says TRGP has a nice wheel recovery going towards Friday. Absolutely. Raja also says nice recovery. It's above the 16 strike. Still looking at the possibility of being assigned if it is below 16. And again, until Friday. Good. Chuck says he's bullish on LL. You see, so let me show you something really important. It all depends on your time frame. So if you look at LL, you will see that they have two types of trends, right? I mean, there's a long-term trend, and if you look at the long-term trend from April until now, overall, it has been pretty bullish. And then there's short-term trends, and these short-term trends, see, I want to show you. This is when I'm seeing red bars. Recently, we had a short-term trend. This was a PowerX trade. And I know that many of the PowerX strategy users or PowerX optimizer users took the trade and made some money. So just to go back to this comment, Chuck, if you're a long-term bullish, you might be right. But in the short term, what I see based on indicators, it is more likely to go down. And again, what I'm saying is it is more likely. When trading, we are playing the probabilities. We never know what will happen, right? We're putting the odds in our favor. And this is my outlook, and we can both be right, just on different time frames. My outlook is over the next 5 to 20 days. Your outlook might be, if you switch to a weekly chart here, it might be over the next few months, which is absolutely fine. So we can actually both be right. It just, if we have exactly the same time frame, exactly the same entry price, then one of us has to lose. Anyhow, good. Kathy says, yeah, like the Magic 8-Ball. Again, this my son Julius printed it on the 3D printer, and then my daughter Vivian, she actually painted it so that we can see buy, sell, and hold. Okay. Yep, exactly, the dice strategy. Okay. All right. Eduardo says, what do you think about Nicola? Want to roll the dice? What do you think? Okay. So seriously, Nicola, another. Why do you ask the question? I'm just curious. Probably because you have heard it in the news, right? Whenever you hear it in the news, it's a hyped up stock that right now it's going like crazy. You see, Nicola was going up from $37 to $92, came crashing down. Then last week, I think it jumped 70% in a day or 40% in a day because GM announced buying a stake into this. And look at this. After this this flash in the pan, it is coming crashing down here. I can't stress this enough. Stay away from stocks that you hear on the news, that you hear from the talking heads. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Just don't watch the talking heads. If you want to watch the talking head, watch me. Yeah, all right. So this is where it's crazy. Is the idea of Nikola a good idea? Maybe. They have yet to produce a single car. They haven't produced a single car yet. It's just a concept here. So I don't know. We will see. We will see. Okay. So Ken says VIAC was a good PowerX optimal signal. Take some profits. You see, this is where if you are a PowerX optimizer user, or if you have the book, The PowerX Strategy, you know about the idea of a conservative target and an optimized target. So yes, VIAC hit the conservative target today. When this happens, you take half of the profits off the table, tighten up your stop loss, because now you can't lose anymore. Now you can't lose anymore. And then hope that it goes towards the optimized target, right? Ken, if this sounds familiar, or if this does not sound familiar at all, please take a look at the videos that are in your member section that came with the PowerX Optimizer here. Okay, good. Tristan says, what about SPACs? I mean, SPACs have been in the news recently. What is it? It's a single-purpose acquisition company. Basically, it's a company that is already trading and then will be taken over by a company that wants to go public. So it's kind of sneaking through the back door here. And I don't know what to think about SPACs. I stay away from them, same as IPOs, because again, you might hit it big with an IPO. Yeah, maybe you got into Pinterest on the day that they opened and went up. But then maybe you got into Slack and it went down, and Uber it went down, and Lyft it went down. It is just not repeatable. It is not systematic. It is not consistent here. Okay. Jack says, I definitely want to get your book. Do I just go to your website for shipping and handling? I believe there's a link here in the description. If you scroll down in the description, there's probably a link where it says, get the PowerX Strategy book. Maybe we have abbreviated it about PXS. Yeah, otherwise, I think if you go to rockwelltrading.com/book, you should get there. Okay. Good. Okay, what else do we have here? Yeah, I mean, Rupinder says talking about two screens to answer Jack's question from earlier. Even portable screens, there's actually a pretty good one. I'll be happy to show you the one that I can recommend as a portable screen. And yes, I know that I'm not sharing my screen yet. I just want to pull it up first on my Amazon account. So it is the Asus 169. Let's see. Let me just double check here which one it is. So there's a pretty good. Yep, this one here. The Asus MB169B Plus. It's a full HD portable monitor. It's only like a pound or a pound and a half. Pretty good, $170. Can highly recommend it. If you want, I'll link to it in the description. We can certainly do this. Let me just quickly see the specs. But super easy, ultra portable. And it seems my internet is slowing a little bit down. So it is 1.6 pounds, 1.7 pounds. Super easy. So yeah. Okay. Good. Ken is asking, love the stream. What program are you using to stream on YouTube? Do you plan to stream on Twitch? I don't even know what Twitch is. I've heard about this. The program that I'm using here, it's called Ecamm Live. I have a Mac computer. It only runs on Mac. And this is where it usually works great. Okay, let's see. It says the connection is gone. I hope not. I hope not. That the connection is gone. Can you still see me, hear me? Anybody? Okay. Let me know in the comments if you can see me and if you can hear me, or if you have to wrap it up here today a few minutes earlier because apparently somehow we have lost the connection. Maybe we didn't. We did, maybe we didn't. Okay. Am I back? That's my team here really quick. Okay, I don't see any comments coming in anymore, so it seems that we abruptly ended the stream. Sorry about this. If you can still see this, great. If not, it seems that maybe there's a problem on my end. It could be thundering. I don't even know. Seems that I'm back. So, I mean, there's a few more questions. Okay. Seems that it is buffering. You know what? We'll be back here on Friday, right? Because I'm live 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So if you enjoyed today's show, even though towards the end we had a little bit buffering going on, sorry about this. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel, share this video with anybody who you might think that he find it helpful, he or she, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.